Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Rockton homeowners who saw damage after the Chemtool plant caught fire break out the cameras. Photos of damage could speed up the process of getting paid back.
A Winnebago County man found guilty of killing 2 people as a teenager is sentenced. We'll tell you how much time he will serve behind bars.
One of the most indefensible disparities in our system of justice.
Democrats push a plan to make the federal sentencing of crack the same as cocaine. We'll have the latest on the debate from Capitol Hill. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. More than a week after Chemtool's Rockton plant burst into flames, fire crews say their battle is almost over. U.S. Fire Pump estimates the blaze will be fully extinguished in the next couple of days. Crews will stay on scene even after the fire is out. In the event other issues could come up. The U.S. Chemical Safety Board is in Rockton. The agency's full report will be released to the public once its investigation wraps up. Meantime, the Winnebago County Board has extended the disaster declaration another 60 days. The fire impacted hundreds of Rockton residents and their homes. Today, the Village of Rockton announced teams will start assessing any fire-related damages. Michelle Rave caught up with a disaster response agency involved. Michelle, what will this process look like?
Crews have been out since early this morning. They're primarily focusing on residents that live within a 1-mile radius of the Chemtool plant. Residents I spoke with call those crews a welcome sight.
I'm very happy that they're seem to be making efforts to, figure out what happened and, talk to the local homeowners and not forget about, even though the fires are dying down, that, we're not forgotten about.
Rockton resident Dan Enderly says he was pleased to see damage assessment crews in his neighborhood.
They were asking what kind of debris that we had in our yard and, what exactly fell and, just kind of what we thought about different things.
South Beloit resident Betty Conklin says it was a welcome surprise seeing Illinois Emergency Management Agency officials on her doorstep.
Oh, I was surprised. I was baking my cookies and knock on the door, and this nice looking guy come to the door and said who he was, kind of checking on us. And I thought that was really great.
Several organizations are assisting IEMA with assessments, including veteran-led Team Rubicon.
So Team Rubicon has been tasked with overseeing the volunteers and making sure that the tasks get done. We're working closely with these teams to get these damage assessments done as quickly and efficiently and completely as possible.
Before you start cleaning up, make sure that you take photos to document the damage, the condition of the property that you're coming back to.
Enderly calls the assessments a step in the right direction.
Just want to continue to have accountability for Chemtool and get answers so that way we can have reassurance that we're safe to be outside and have our kids be outside. And
assessment crews are wearing yellow and orange vests and have an ID. IEMA is encouraging homeowners to always ask people for those IDs to avoid any scammers. Mimi, Eric.
Good advice. Thanks, Michelle.
More than a week after the Chemtool fire started, the EPA upholds its findings that the air in Rockton is safe to breathe.
One Rockton man tells Rachel Perry, despite what environmental officials say, he thinks the fire's taken a toll on his health. The symptoms are so bad he might move. Rachel.
That's right, Mimi and Eric. I spoke with a Rockton resident who went to the emergency room with a bad cough and shortness of breath. He showed me his exit forms where the doctor cited chemical exposure.
My diagnosis at the hospital was exacerbation of asthma and exposure to chemical inhalation.
Jeremy Oster says his symptoms came on after returning home to clean house following the Chemtool fire. He lives within the 1-mile radius of the plant, which was evacuated.
Really hard breathing from my chest, clogged sinuses, pain right here, which the doctor said is from cartilage from coughing.
The diagnosis from Beloit Health System, exposure to chemical inhalation.
Because of the exposure that we know just happened recently, if the patient was within the vicinity of the area, it's most likely the cause.
Dr. Martine Schultheis with OSF St. Anthony's tells me tests and patient history can determine chemical exposure as the cause. She recommends making an appointment with your doctor if you feel sick.
because sometimes you don't know what's burning the chemicals. It could be carbon monoxide, it could be any other poisonous gas or cyanide. So you don't want them to deprive of oxygen and cause fatal conditions. So yes, definitely seek medical care immediately.
The ER doctor told Oster to continue staying out of Rockton because he says his symptoms go away when he's at hotels or camping.
That's why she told me she didn't want me to be in the house and take my mask off at all anymore.
But he doesn't know where his family will go in the future.
I don't think we will return home and start sleeping here again. I think that we're going to end up moving.
The EPA is still monitoring the air quality and say they are not finding any hazardous chemicals. Eric?
Thanks, Rachel. The South Beloit man who gunned down 3 people, killing 2, will serve more than 30 years in prison. 21-year-old Logan Wonder killed 19-year-old Zach Fosberg and 22-year-old Stefan Gander in July 2018. Investigators say a then 18-year-old Wonder and another teenager shot the pair and another man during a fight. An off-duty South Beloit police officer heard the gunfire and called first responders for help. Today, Wonder was sentenced to 33 years for 1 count of murder.
Rockford police make several arrests during a drug bust at what was once a popular hotel. Monday, narcotics detectives investigated drug sales in and around the former Faust Hotel on East State. Within hours, officers recovered crack cocaine, a loaded handgun, money, and seized 3 cars. Investigators also arrested Jamar Money, Ricky McGee, Charles Stevens, and Lewis Murphy. The men all face drug charges. Officers will continue monitoring the area where the investigation took place. A semi-driver was hospitalized after a rollover crash. This happened early this morning on Bypass 20 near the I-39 ramp. The truck was carrying hundreds of frozen turkeys, which spilled out into a ditch when the semi rolled. Cleanup crews filled 2 dumpsters with the poultry. No word on how the driver is doing tonight.
The U.S. Senate looks at a proposal that would end the sentence disparity between powder and crack cocaine. Right now, sentences for crack offenses are about 18 times higher than those for powder. Science shows the drugs are nearly identical. According to the U.S. Sentencing Commission, nearly 80% of convicted crack offenders are black. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin says the years of disparity must end. Some critics are still wary of making the change.
There are discrepancies in terms of recidivism rates, addiction, and violent crime.
Black Americans are 6 times more likely to be imprisoned on drug charges than white Americans. It has no basis in science. It's done nothing to make us safer.
If signed into law, the Equal Act would also mandate those convicted of such offenses can be resentenced.
Families in need of a little extra help getting dinner on the table have another option. Summer Family Markets will offer free grocery boxes several times this summer. All you have to do is drive to Wants Park in Loves Park, pop your trunk, and drive away with nutritious ingredients. Northern Illinois Food Bank, Rockford Park District, and Community Action sponsor the giveaways. The first one of the season kicks off tomorrow afternoon from 2 to 4. Tonight's dinner plans could include a side of protection against COVID. The Winnebago County Health Department's mobile vaccination bus is currently parked at Food Truck Tuesdays. It's part of the agency's destination vaccination effort, which takes COVID shot clinics on the road. The bus will be at Nicholas Conservatory and Gardens until 8 tonight. The first 50 residents to roll up their sleeves will receive Six Flags tickets.
Some Stateline families will soon receive monthly checks to help offset costs after a rough financial year during the pandemic.
President Biden's child tax credit is set to begin July 15th. Ari Bruckman caught up with a few local parents, and Ari, they have mixed reactions to the plan.
Yeah, Eric and Mimi, parents are still facing many financial challenges due to the pandemic. While this new child tax credit can be beneficial for some families, others are worried about the long-term effect on the economy.
Very helpful for us. We're honestly we currently rent, so we're trying to save up for a house. So for us, it means kind of having a little more financial freedom.
Americans will soon see a monthly check for having children. The American Rescue Plan increased the overall child tax credit. It's up to $3,000 for kids 6 to 17 and an additional $600 for those under 6. As a mother of 2, Haley Bannock hopes this will help create a better future for her kids.
We're also obviously very grateful. We would have never gotten opportunities like this before to pay off some things, to have some opportunities for our kids.
All working families will get the full credit if they make up to $150,000 for a couple and $75,000 a year or less for a single taxpayer. Candace Ansack also has 2 little ones. She, though, has mixed emotions about giving out more money right now.
Temporarily, it's nice, but I think in the long run, we're going to be seeing something that might put us in a worse situation.
The Center on Poverty and Social Policy at Columbia University says this tax credit could cut child poverty by as much as 45%. Bannock says this money will hopefully alleviate some of the pressure off her family.
We definitely wouldn't have gotten to the place we are today without it, I can tell you that much. So we'd be a lot further behind. Typically my husband and I don't make a ton, so for us to have the opportunity to say yes a little bit more than no is kind of a big deal for us.
Taxpayers usually see this credit when you file your income taxes. This money will be given out monthly starting in July. To learn more about the new child tax credit, visit this story on mystateline.com.
Now your first warm weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Dew.
Well, for now, the second day in a row, temperatures failed to climb any higher than the lower to middle 70s across the area. At least today, no areas were stuck in the 60s like they were yesterday. We're at 75 currently in Rockford, 75 up in Janesville, 73 in Freeport, and 71 currently up in Monroe. Now, despite seeing a few cooler days here in the state line over the past few days, we are still on track to see one of the warmest Junes on record. We are second to only 1933 through the first 3 weeks of June for seeing the warmest Junes on record, at least so far. And just a couple of days ago, we were on track to see one of the driest Junes on record as well. In fact, we were number 3 on that list through just a couple of days ago, but because of Sunday's 0.6 of an inch from that storm system that went on through, we are slowly digging ourselves here out of this drought, especially because we see several very good chances for rain over the next week or so. Now we're at number 8 for the driest Junes on record through the first 3 weeks, but that number should continue to climb here, as I mentioned, as we do see quite a few very good chances for rain over the next several days. Here's a live look over the Park Hills Golf Course in Freeport using a Mercy Hill Skytrack. We see a decent amount of cloud cover overhead behind some mostly cloudy skies. Cloud cover has been pretty variable for most of our day across most of the state line, but we haven't seen any rainfall on the area just yet. But we do have a system out to our west here that's bringing some showers and even some stronger thunderstorms to parts of central and southeastern Iowa. You can see the trend of this system here is a little bit more southeasterly, so most of this rainfall is actually going to miss us just to the south, but there is a pretty decent chance that we will see some rain out of this system a little bit later on tonight. Now, these showers could fall as early as the latter part of this evening. Could maybe see 1 or 2 thunderstorms as well. Shouldn't be anything too strong, just on the lighter side, but most of us just going to see a few isolated showers here through the night, and then heading on after midnight is when we really do increase our chances for seeing a few showers here and there. We're going to hang on to this chance for a few isolated showers through the night and even into tomorrow morning. Through the morning, we could potentially continue to see some rain all the way up until around the noon hour, but by the early afternoon, the area should be dry, and then we should start seeing some slow clearing in our cloud cover as we head into the latter part of the afternoon and into the evening. Conditions going to remain partly cloudy through the overnight between tomorrow and Thursday. That is before more clouds are going to be moving in from the west Thursday morning. That is ahead of another chance for some rain, and this time around some thunderstorms as well. Now, looking ahead to Friday, there is the potential to see possibly some stronger thunderstorms, but the likelihood of at least some lighter thunderstorms and some rainfall. We have a pretty strong system of low pressure that's going to be moving into the area late Thursday night and continue to move through as we head on into Friday, and that is going to bring us the potential for some thunderstorms as early as Friday evening and lasting likely into Friday afternoon, I should say, and lasting likely into Friday evening. Now, as I mentioned, rain and at least some lighter thunderstorms do appear likely at this time. As to whether these thunderstorms will be on the stronger to even severe side, that is yet to be seen. That, of course, could change over the next few days, but this is something, of course, we will keep a very close eye on as we do get closer to Friday. Temperatures tonight going to be down into the middle to upper 50s. We should be back in the lower 80s tomorrow, at least for us here in Rockford. Most of the area probably going to see another day stuck in the 70s. We should see highs continue to stay in the lower to middle 80s through the week here. Plenty of rain chances that's going to last through the work week and even heading into the weekend, with a chance for a few showers for both Saturday and possibly Sunday as well.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Lever.
How much do the Toronto Raptors think of Fred VanVleet? So much that he'll be the face of their NBA draft lottery tonight. He's the guy they have picked to represent him. Teams can pick general managers, coaches, or whoever they'd like to represent them. It's a little ironic that Van Vliet will be in the middle of this draft lottery because he himself went undrafted out of Wichita State. But if there's one guy in their organization who exudes stability, confidence, hope, and leadership, it's Van Vliet. The lottery will be held virtually this year. It'll be shown on ESPN at 7:30 this evening. 14 teams are in the lottery. The 3 worst teams in the NBA this season have the best chance of getting the top pick overall. The Rockets, Pistons, and Magic all have a 14% shot at that. The Raptors' chances are 7.5%, and the Bulls' chances of getting the number 1 pick are 4.5%. If the Bulls don't get one of the top 4 picks, their first-round pick will go to the Orlando Magic as part of the Nikola Vucevic trade. And the White Sox are trying to snap their 4-game losing streak tonight. They're playing in Pittsburgh. The Cubs will host the Indians again, and we'll see if Javier Baez can redeem himself after his base-running gaffe last night. He was jogging around the bases on a fly ball out, thinking it was the final out of the inning when it wasn't. He was easily doubled off first base. Baez was removed from the game by David Ross. Baez wasn't bitter. He knows he messed up.
I blame it on myself. I lost the count of the outs, and you know, we talk about it. We're in the same page, and you know, I'll be there tomorrow to help the team. There is no hard feelings right now, and we talk right after the game. We are in the same page right now.
Well, former Harlem and Rockford University pitcher Zach Jones is starting a new chapter in his baseball career. He is signed to play pro baseball in the United Shore Professional Baseball League with the Utica, Michigan Unicorns. That's an independent league based in the suburban Detroit. And this spring, Jones pitched his final year of college ball with the Citadel in South Carolina. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Let's look at our first one, Interactive Radar, sponsored by Rockford Auto Glass and More. No rain in the state line just yet, but we could see a few isolated showers move through later on this evening and through the overnight, possibly even lasting into early tomorrow morning. See several chances for some rain over the next several days, including a chance for a few thunderstorms Thursday and Friday, and maybe even a little rain over the weekend.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
And thank you for spending a little of your time with us. Stay safe.